I got just a real bad rage. I just wanted to grab you by your throat and tear your esophagus out.
Alright guys, keeping with the theme of this month covering Halloween-themed shows or episodes, we're going to be taking a look at one of my favorite shows to cover, Ghost Adventures. Now if you don't know, Ghost Adventures is, well, pretty self-explanatory. Probably one of the most self-explanatory titles that there is for a show. But we follow Zach Bagans and his crew as they travel around to investigate the paranormal. See? Now, although there are hundreds of shows spanning this genre, Ghost Adventures happens to be one of the goofier of the bunch.
Out of all the times that we've been ghost hunting and stuff, I have never had an impulse. I want to drink that right now.
There's a spirit here of a woman that is very beautiful, okay? She's gorgeous, and that's who is my Valentine. That's who I'm gonna hook up with.
And today's episode is no exception, of course. We're gonna be following the gang as they investigate the mysterious happenings at the Melrose Hotel in Colorado. And as you saw, it's gonna get pretty heavy.
We have worked years to build our credibility, our reputation.
I mean, he's not wrong. When you make roughly 17,000 episodes of a show, you do build a reputation. Whether it's good or bad, a reputation is being built regardless. Honestly, I wonder what has more episodes, this or House Hunters. I'm actually gonna go with House Hunters because they have over 100 seasons. Turns out, a lot of houses on this planet.
The Melrose Hotel was established in 1908.
Okay, seeing that flickering light makes me wish that the paranormal home inspector would tag along with them this episode.
Whoever wired this switch and put these switches in may have miswired it.
So apparently the conundrum with this hotel is there seems to be a spirit violently attacking exclusively men, and our team of ghost adventurers happens to be made up entirely of men, so I imagine hijinks will ensue. They always do.
We begin our investigation of this establishment by interviewing someone who has experienced the raw power of this hotel firsthand. Manager Christopher Bickford.
Is there anything going on with you while you've been here? In your mind, your thoughts?
I feel like I feel energies. There's times I feel ultra sad when there's no reason to be ultra sad. There's times I feel really angry.
Is it possible Chris's anger is a manifestation of something dark within these walls?
Yeah, it might be. I also lost my job, and that's been weighing pretty heavily on me, so that might be a big part. You know, that's actually probably most of it, now that I think about it.
It very much could have been that an argument pursued or something like that, and she was killed on the premises.
They really lean into the reenactments. I feel like we've seen more reenactment this episode than we have of the actual people that are going to be in the episode.
If the murder did happen in the hotel, could Sabrina's spirit be targeting men as revenge?
If I can make one prediction, Zach is totally going to be like, guys, I think I can fix her.
And that's who I'm gonna hook up with.
The ghosts attack the men in the house. That's what happens. The men get attacked the most.
I just noticed this man's teardrop tattoo. Is there a chance that he murdered the woman that is haunting the hotel and she just has an actual really good reason to haunt him?
I sent you guys pictures of the scratches on my head.
Yeah.
That's happened 3 times since I've been back. Over the last month, actually.
Yeah, we noticed you sent us those photos, and at first you didn't have any subject line or body text, and we didn't know what to do, so we just sent them to our spam folder.
Hector came 5.5 years ago and asked if he could go down in the basement. And I grabbed him. I said, yes, please do.
He asked if I wanted him to go downstairs, and I said, yes, please do. I'd really like to see what happens, if I'm being honest.
I just get a really bad feeling that it doesn't want us down there, either you or I.
Okay, man, well, we kind of have a show to do, so we're gonna need to go down there anyways.
The previous managers have their own peculiar story.
I worked with them for a while. They moved up here from Georgia, and I watched them just spiral downhill.
I went downstairs, and lo and behold, there was an altar.
There were bottles marked poison, blood. It was
Blood?
almost like a shrine.
Sounds like this couple that used to manage the place that they're talking about was just weird as fuck, and maybe that's why they had to move out of their original state to go manage a hotel elsewhere. I think they just got kicked out of their state.
Was there ever any physical evidence outside of that stuff of ritualistic markings, things like that?
I believe so. I believe there's still a box down there right now that has some like pitchforks carved into it.
Get rid of that fucking box. Why is it still down there?
He was locking himself inside the basement from the inside.
Why would he lock himself in the basement?
I don't know.
What do you think the inner machinations of a man who has labeled jars of blood in the basement of his workplace are? That's probably why he was locking himself in there in the first place. He doesn't want people walking in on his arts and crafts sessions from hell. You know, I just think he wanted a place to live rent-free and use the whole haunted lore of that place to secure his spot in that basement.
I believe he spoke to them.
He spoke to who?
To the spirits or whatever's down there.
In the same way I love the home inspector going around and debunking stuff in that show, I would equally love if they had a psychologist tagging along. These episodes would be 4 minutes long. Now, before we continue on, some of you may be wondering what that blanket is in the background, and it's actually covering something I've been wanting to do for a long time. It's a seasonal item I've been wanting to purchase for years, since it actually was announced, and it is always out of stock every time I try to buy it. Until this year, I was finally able to scoop one up. That being the Home Depot 12-foot skeleton. The original plan, I don't know what the original plan was. It's obviously far too big to stand up in my house, and it's still a work in progress. I am struggling to get this goddamn pelvis attached, so it's just gonna kind of chill out like this for the duration of the Halloween season. I figured I'd just kind of have it in the background until I get all of these October videos done, and then if I've got a few days, hopefully at least by Halloween, I can just go prop it up in the front yard for the no trick-or-treaters to see. Because I don't know if you know this, but apparently trick-or-treating just isn't a thing anymore. I found that out the hard way last year when I placed out Candy and Skeleton. Look how cute this is. Just to end up like Pawpaw making burgers for his 6 grandkids only for one to show up, except no one showed up. It's the goddamn trunk-or-treaters. If trunk-or-treaters have no haters, I am dead. Anyways, rant over. Hope you guys enjoy old boy in the background. We'll think of a name for him. How about Kevin? We'll call him Kevin. We got Kevin in the background. Anyways, back to Ghost Adventures. So now we finally get to see a possible first-hand encounter with these spirits, and who else but Zach to be the vessel for them to manifest in.
Feel this? Just my, like, it's cold. My legs are ice cold.
It starts off with cold knees. Arms are heavy, mom's spaghetti.
I got just a real bad rage. I just wanted to grab you by your throat and tear your esophagus out.
Okay, let's take a beat here. It's not unusual for Zach to get annoyed with anyone on his crew, let alone Aaron, but he's never, I don't know, wanted to grab him by his throat and tear out his esophagus. And you can see it on Aaron's face too. He's like, yo, what the fuck?
I got just a real bad rage. I just wanted to grab you by your throat and tear your esophagus out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go, over there for a minute and stand behind Billy.
But listen to me, I'm fine right now. I'm fine right now, okay? Come here. Don't go away from me. I don't want to do that right now.
Right now?
Right now? What if you do in a few seconds or something?
Grab a tri-field or something, Aaron. This isn't good.
Yeah, sure, Zach. I'm gonna grab some zip ties too, if you don't mind.
Are you rolling?
Are you rolling? Did you get that? Yeah? Ah, shit. I wish you weren't. That wasn't a good look for me.
I want to document this.
What happened? Something's happening, man.
Yeah, Zach has not had a cigarette in like 3 days.
I hate when I get like that.
Yeah, how the fuck do you think I feel?
Travis, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, sir.
Yeah, not feeling great about that smile at the end there.
I think the men in this building have been affected. Sometimes that look in his eyes, I've seen it in Chris's too. I don't like it. You can tell they're looking at you, but it's not them, it's something else.
I think we need to get everyone involved here in to see someone right now, because they got a lot of shit to talk through, it seems. Well, we did start a program here back about 5 years ago where we hire exclusively ex-felons convicted of violent offenses, but I don't think that's it at all.
I'm not sure if you want to show it on camera. I have bruises all over my leg.
Yeah, also all of these paranormal anomalies seem to happen every time I get blackout drunk, because I wake up with these bruises all over my leg.
Did you go have these looked at?
Yes, sir, by the hospital. They can't explain it either.
I feel like if you went to a hospital and you were like, Doc, what are all these bruises? They're gonna be like, okay, well, obviously you hit your leg on something. And even if you told them you didn't, they're still gonna be like, all right, well, obviously you did. I don't think it was the... Let me check. Sabrina, the man-hating ghost.
I saw a demon. The only way I can describe it is basically like, it was a black figure with razor-sharp teeth.
It was a dark figure that had teeth that was sharp.
Yeah, I don't want to feel like I'm crazy
It's okay.
or anything.
No, we're here to help.
Help, exploit for entertainment, all one and the same.
We're here at Rimrock Adventures, and we're gonna meet with someone who has something very disturbing to tell us.
But first, we bought a day pass and had a fun day of river rafting before sitting down and talking with Summer. So Zach talks with Summer at Rimrock Adventures about a piece of evidence crucial to Sabrina's murder mystery.
So tell me about this van that you once owned, because it was something inside of it that I'm really interested about.
Basically, the hotel had previously used this van to shuttle people around to sightsee in town and even take them to Rimrock Adventures, before Rimrock Adventures eventually purchased this van from them to basically do the same thing around their own park. Later on, police eventually end up getting involved when they brought the van in for part of their investigation and found something rather haunting.
The police brought the van in for investigation and found traces of her blood and DNA in the van.
So if they found Sabrina's blood in the van, then he must have used the van to transport her body somewhere. And
Yes.
do you know where they found her body? Where?
Yeah, they actually found it on Douglas Pass. It was a rancher looking for his lost cattle.
Did they just find her head?
Yeah, Zach, I guess so. I don't really like thinking about it. You could just go read the police report, you know? Why is he asking the owner of Rimrock Adventures for her insight on the matter? She's literally just there to say, yeah, we had the van and there ended up being blood in it. Which really sucked because we spent a lot of money on that van. So now it's finally time for the guys to do their lockdown in the hotel and start their official investigation.
The big concern here and the big caution for us is that something very violent here likes to attack men.
I have bruises all over my leg.
Also, them cutting back to the guy that was supposedly attacked is making me think, that's all she did to you? Because yeah, those aren't like tiny bruises, but they're just some bruises on his leg. Like, was she just following him around, kicking him in the leg at night? Now, as you guys know with these lockdowns, they're the only ones in the building, apparently, which means they had to ask the managers who live in this hotel to get another hotel for the night. Maybe they requested an Airbnb or something so they could just get a break for hotel life for the night. I don't know. I hope.
Okay, we're gonna head to the other side of the building over there.
The darker side, really.
Where Chris, the manager, his room is, where he's been severely attacked.
Severely attacked as in what a kid's leg looks like when they come in from playing outside all day.
I want to start with just some Polaroid pictures. I'm gonna take them, we'll put them back in base camp, let them have time to develop and take a look at them.
Give them time to develop, like what? 10 minutes? 15 at most?
Don't shake it, because the people will be
Listen,
like,
there's footsteps. Yes. Are you the one that doesn't like men? Because if you don't like men, you've got 3 of us right now.
So, we could fucking take you. Don't try us.
You're attacking Chris, the manager?
oh my god, that scared me.
That just scared
Thought it was a growl.
All of a sudden, the furnace kicks on, and at first sounds like a deep guttural growl, which really freaks us out because we won't lie, we are all completely on edge.
Low bar, but I'm glad they at least acknowledge that it's the furnace and don't try to play it off like it's an anomaly. The paranormal home inspector would be proud.
I'm placing this geophone in the middle of the hallway on the 2nd floor. Any footsteps, these lights will light up. Also above that, you'll notice that that's the temperature. The geobox also has an EMF detector in it with lights that light up.
Damn, this thing really does do everything. They're like, yeah, it tells us the temperature, it reads decibel levels, it tells us paranormal energy levels, it gives us Zach's blood pressure at any given moment, which has proven to be very, very valuable this investigation.
This is called the Direct Link by IDC Devices. I don't know who we're gonna make contact with. It could be Sabrina, it could be other people who have died here, it could be something demonic.
It could be anything.
Let's try.
Help! It said help.
Could this be Sabrina, who was living at this hotel when—
God, do they have to keep cutting back to that clip of him kicking the shit out of her? It was a bit much the first time.
We were informed by the owner that there have been suicides here at the hotel by veterans of past wars. Could this chilling response be the spirit of one of them?
You tell me your name?
We begin using the SLS camera to see if we can visually capture the general, but the device keeps malfunctioning in this hallway.
And this sounds like a shitty ghost detecting device because it seems to be malfunctioning at the possible presence of a ghost. We designed this device to track the presence of paranormal anomalies, but something about the presence of paranormal anomalies just seems to put this thing in a bind.
We just heard you. Can we now see you? Shut again.
Aaron, did you forget to charge this fucking thing? So now a lot happens over the next few minutes. We get some activity on that device that does roughly 13 different things, which of course it seems to be tracking everything everywhere all at once. Then Aaron's device that I still don't quite know what it does other than have a call on speakerphone with a washing machine. Then they hear a female voice on it when they ask if it's trying to communicate with them.
Who do you want?
Is you the girl?
That's the same girl from the other device.
As I leave to run back to base camp to grab a full spectrum camera, on my way back in the pitch dark I seem to scare Aaron out of his mind.
Oh, my life! What?
Of course you fucking scared him. Did you see the way you were creeping up on him like he was prey? You even got that mischievous face too.
Ow!
What was that? What'd you hit? Oh, God.
My left shin.
I thought he was about to get a spinning leg kick from Sabrina, but it turns out it was just a fucking planted pot, which they really linger on this.
Oh, you hit that.
Oh, cheese and rice.
That hurt.
Oh, what is it? What got me?
That plant.
Oh, why did that get me in the shin?
Because it's perfect shin height and it's super heavy.
Oh.
This pain feels like when you're riding a bike and your foot slips off the pedal and then the metal pedal flips back and cracks you right in the shin. You remember that?
Are we possibly getting to the bottom of where this guy's leg bruises are coming from? Because maybe men just keep running into this shit at night, and rather than admit it, they're just like, it's a spirit, lives in the basement, and it hates men. Also, like I said, they're really stretching this thing out. I think they're stalling because they're scared to go upstairs.
Let's turn on the Ovilus 4. I'm gonna try everything we have.
Allows spirits to select words from a database using their energy. Okay. But once they're upstairs, they ask who is trying to communicate with them, and they really make sure we don't forget it. They drill it in.
Who's in our presence right now?
Lady!
Oh,
my God!
Oh my god.
Lady!
Did you hear how it said it? It's just
Lady! I've never seen it say it like that. Lady! Feel it back at me! Feel it back at me!
But for those of you who are somewhat skeptical of the Ovilus device, watch what happens as I turn very slowly to see what is making my back so cold in the room behind me.
It doesn't matter what they do when they say, if you're skeptical, watch this. You could show me literally anything, and I will not believe you, Zach Bagans.
I begin taking more Polaroid pictures, one after the other, and as we head down to base camp to review them, we notice what appears to be an unexplained dark figure in this one particular photo.
Am I wrong, or are those all not pictures he took before downstairs and has shown us already?
A couple of the pictures, we captured what appears to be a figure down at the end of the hallway. And I'll show you a zoom in of it. I took a picture with my phone of the Polaroid. You see that figure there?
Yeah.
Would you believe me if I told you I didn't see much or anything at all? Because you're taking a picture of a Polaroid on your phone, zooming in, and then filming said picture of a zoomed in picture on your phone of a Polaroid. Try saying that 3 times fast. Kevin?
So I just took a picture with my camera phone, and if you zoom into it,
There you go.
you see this shape again, which means that that's definitely debunked, that that's some type of a pattern in the wood.
Props to them for once again admitting that too. That is the second time this episode they didn't explain something to be ghosts and were honest about it. That's growth. Although they still do play this ominous music over it, as if they did discover something. Maybe that's just their lazy editor. I would know, I am a lazy editor. Which is why today's video is sponsored by Graham. If you're ever thinking, man, Chris really put a lot of work into this one, odds are, Graham. Then they move to another bedroom and focus way too long on some misty figure while Aaron is falling into one of his famous trances in a nearby room. And to investigate further, we will now whip out the Xbox Kinect video camera.
As Billy is feeling something heavy in this room, I detect some type of anomaly right in front of him.
I know that shape anywhere. That's Salacious B. Crumb.
The energy anomaly now fully manifests into a figure, and then all of a sudden Billy has to leave the room.
Okay, seeing it spin around like that on the bed, it might just be the Tasmanian devil manifested in a spirit on this Xbox Kinect video camera.
I decide to try out a new device called the IDC intercom box, which scans randomly through frequencies and features a variable speed control, as well as other onboard enhancements, allowing spirits to communicate directly. Turn this on.
I feel like they have dozens of different devices with different names and features that all boil down to just being half-working speakers from the Salvation Army.
Oh, God, dude! Something just touched me on the leg!
Yes, this is Chris, the manager at the Melrose Hotel. You guys filmed an episode here back a few months ago? Yeah, we're just catching it on TV now, live. Good stuff, good stuff. I did notice, Zach had his fucking shoes on the bed, and we were just wondering what the hell that was all about.
We receive a very high-class vocal tone response, and this device has been on for 10 minutes with absolutely no other voices.
You can tell the Travel Channel's prop department made this thing because it literally is just an old speaker with that little sticker they made in-house.
We receive a final, chilling, crystal-clear voice coming through saying, Jim.
Alright. Jim, I guess. Really boils it down. Thank God there's only a few of those walking around these days.
And as we near the end of our investigation, Billy decides to investigate the basement, where he uses multiple pieces of equipment, but documents no further evidence, leading us to conclude that the rooms inside of the Hotel Melrose are reverberating with the energy of its tumultuous past.
How do you even tell the hotel owners this after everything that's happened? Like, yeah, these hotel rooms are reverberating with the energy of its tumultuous past. Also, that'll be $40,000. Well, guys, that was Ghost Adventures once again. I hope you did enjoy, and I hope so far you're enjoying these spooky-er videos. I know this wasn't like a Halloween episode of Ghost Adventures. I just wanted to cover both Halloween episodes of shows and Halloween-adjacent themed shows. Like today. Plenty more in store for you. There's still plenty of the month left. There's fucking not that much left of the month, but we will still pack it full. Anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, as always, leave a like rating down below, comment, subscribe if you're new and you did enjoy. Don't forget to check out my merch at the store tab on my channel or chrisjames.shop. Hope you guys enjoyed the introduction of Kevin. Biggest box I've ever seen in my fucking life. With all that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.